Greetings, travelers. I'm your host, the C. That knows a lot, Dr. Waluigi. February has arrived, which means that the internet starts going nuts for the best couples or best men and women in anime. But since I have already made a list dedicated to my favorite women in anime, I will instead be talking about those women in anime. The women who you want to punch, kick, and quite honestly, eviscerate with every fiber of your being. So for this list, the way I set it up is that the first 5 are the ones I feel are just annoying and don't contribute too much to the story. Then I will be discussing the worst women from the anime I've seen based on their actions and how they make the characters around them feel awful. So without further ado, these are my top 10 worst women in anime. Number 10. Narusugawa from Love Hina. We're starting off this list with a character who's been on more hated anime women lists than I can count. Naru from the popular romantic comedy series Love Hina is a type of character that I hate in most, if not all, anime. The tsundere. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, the anime community has created a list of different type of female character personalities that end with the word dere. In Naru's case, she is a tsundere, which is a character that hides her feelings by being a grumpy asshat that will put the main character through physical and emotional abuse simply for the sake of comedy. Naru is the queen of this type of character that only gets more and more annoying as the series goes on, and how all she does is whine and complain about everything that the main character does, which leads to her having the other characters get dragged down to her level when they torture and abuse the main character's friends. Number 9. Holly from Monster Rancher. As much as I love this series, I can't stand this character for how useless and annoying she gets. The Monster Rancher series is based off of the popular video game by Tecmo. The series follows the protagonist Genki as he gets transported to the world of Monster Rancher, where he and his friends search for a specific monster called the Phoenix in order to stop the evil Mu from taking over all of the monster world. The character of Holly is the group's guide in order to find the Phoenix, as she has a magic stone that can lead them to the Phoenix, and that's it. She has no other character outside of being the older sister slash love interest for Genki, and has honestly no real reason to be here other than she was a big part of the games as the tutorial fairy. I don't think that anything would have been affected if she was gone, and honestly, it would have been so much easier to get through this series if we didn't have to hear her constant catchphrase. Number 8. Iris from Pokemon. Speaking of annoying catchphrases, I hated the side characters we got for the 14th and 15th seasons of Pokemon. If you've seen any of the Pokemon anime, chances are you'll come across many people who love one or many of the girl characters in the series. You have the classic First Love and Misty, the spunky and hilarious May, or the timid and shy Serena. But if I had to pick one of the worst characters that this show produced, it was Iris from the Black and White seasons. All she does throughout the whole show is complain and berate Ash for being a little kid, and she does this in nearly every episode. Yeah, she does get better in later seasons, but her constant snobbish attitude towards Ash, who is not only a more experienced trainer but has participated in more than one of the Pokemon leagues, gets really irritating when you can't even control a good majority of your Pokemon. Number 7. Erika Amikaze from Metabots. One of the few underrated series that I saw as a kid follows a young boy named Ikki Tenryo who was obsessed with Metabots, a series of robots that kids can buy and fight with in things called robattles. His best friend is a girl named Erika who's obsessed with being a photographer slash reporter. Much like the other characters on this list, my one big problem with this character is that she is poorly written and she has one of the most annoying catchphrases in the show. And that catchphrase becomes her only character trait. She does nothing to further the story and constantly gets in the way of the other characters or ends up becoming the damsel in distress. While that type of character has gotten better over time, Erika unfortunately falls into that category of the Princess Peach archetype and has to constantly get her ass saved by Ikki. Number 6. Eri Hanai from Showman Sample. Ugh. This character and this show made me angrier than I've ever been in a very long while. So the show follows Kimito Kagurazaka, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, a high school student who is kidnapped and forcefully enrolled into an all-girls high school for nobles who are hidden away from the world in order to protect their innocence. However, due to this isolation, when these girls are sent out into the real world, they can't cope with it. So the principal of the school decides to bring in our protagonist in order to have him relax the girls with his common ways. This is honestly one of the dumbest plots to any anime I've ever heard of, and what's worse is that the only reason that this kid is brought into this facility is because the faculty thinks that he's gay, and that will keep the girl's innocence safe. But when he tries to reveal he's not gay, the principal states that if they find out he's not, he will be castrated and crucified on a deserted island where no one will be able to find him. I have so many questions and so many of them aren't going to be answered. Like, why would they assume that this guy is gay when all you have to go on is that he hangs out with other guys? You do know that just because he hangs out with male friends, that doesn't mean he's gay, right? Or that they only got this information from the only girl he's friends with and she is a giant troll. Did you get the permission from the school and his parents to do this? Oh no, we just kidnapped him and he'll never see his family ever again, or at least not until he graduates from this school. I could go on and on with how stupid this series is and how it just keeps getting worse. But the biggest pain in the neck from the show is Kimito's friend Eri, who joked about him being gay, which was one of the reasons why Kimito is here. And when she does go to visit him in one episode, she doesn't even apologize for what she did. This is one of the worst characters I've ever had to see, but we've still got 5 more people after this, and believe me, those 5 people are horrible. Number 5. Medusa from Soul Eater. The next 5 are the ones that are not just terrible people, they are monsters in different ways. Starting off the top 5 is Medusa from Soul Eater. This character is so reviled by fans of this show and by anime fans for all the crap she does in this show. She physically and psychologically tortures her son into killing innocent people, causing another main character to go insane, and resurrecting an ancient evil all in the name of science. She truly is a monster of a character for all of the horrible things that she did, not just to her son, but to all of the characters of this show in the name of her experiments. Number 4. Multimel remark from The Rising of the Shield Hero. Who hasn't heard of this character at this point? This character has done it all, from trying to kill off her younger sister to making the life of our main protagonist horrible by saying he raped her, which leads to everyone distrusting him. I do know the reasons why she does this in the manga, but as I've not actually read the manga, I won't spoil it for those of you who have yet to watch or read this series. Suffice it to say that this is one character that deserves everything that's coming to her, and with Season 2 having started, I can't wait to see her be humiliated for all the crap she did to the heroes. Number 3. Mickey Kawaii from A Silent Voice. The next 3 on this list are truly detestable for just how awful these characters are in each of the situations. Starting us off is Mickey from one of the more popular animated dramas, A Silent Voice. The movie follows an ex-bully of a deaf girl who tries to make up for all the mistakes he made when he bullied her. In the case of this character, Mickey is one of the other kids that bullies the deaf girl, and she is, in my opinion, one of the most horrible characters in the movie. Why? Because she has the absolute gall to throw the main character under the bus and claim that she did nothing wrong to the deaf girl. I wouldn't mind this so much if it wasn't for the fact that she still believes that she was innocent and didn't do as much damage as the other bullies. Wow, that is a level of horrid not even achieved by most major villains. Even Skeletor would look at this woman and say, "Okay, you need therapy, lady." I know that they do make up and have the characters learn a lesson from this, but I still hate this character for how she just gets away with ruining 2 people's lives and has no justice brought to her. Number 2. Mari Kurihara from Prison School. Oh goody, another man-hating woman that needs to get a bitch-slap wake-up call. The plot of this series is that it's just an S&M fetish anime. Yeah, try and call this a well thought out anime, but it's just somebody's S&M porn that got released to the West. Despite this, the whole show revolves around a bunch of guys getting punished by this group called the Underground Student Council for doing what every guy does in a high school setting, taking a peek into the girls' shower. And don't get me wrong, I'm not defending what the boys do, but are they seriously telling me that expulsion or suspension isn't an option at this point? Which, of course, brings me to one of the worst parts of the series in the characters of the USC, specifically the leader. She states that she wants to uphold the standards of the school, but from watching this, you can probably tell that she just wants to vent some pent-up aggression against men, which must make her a dynamic and interesting character. But that doesn't compare to the number one worst character that I was able to find in recent years. Number 1. Serena Shizukume from Magical Girl Site. So I haven't actually finished watching this series, but from what I've seen already, this character deserves to be at the number 1 spot on this list. The series follows a young middle school girl named Aya Asagiri who constantly gets bullied and tormented by Ms. Shizukume and her family. Aya only has one thing in her life that makes her happy, and that's taking care of a stray cat. This leads into what this monster does to her at the end of the first episode. After she discovers a website that gives her a magic wand, she is assaulted by the bullies who brings one of their boyfriends to rape her. I wish I were joking about this, but from what I've discovered in Japan, this is one of the worst forms of modern day bullying and is treated by some people as a practical joke. Not only does this character deserve to be at the top of the list, but deserved what was coming to her by the end of one of the episodes. I implore everyone out there not to watch this anime, not just for how seriously dark it is, but because no one should see the horrible things that happens to these innocent characters. Sorry that ended on such a dark, disturbing note, but hopefully the next episode will not be as depressing. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Waluigi, and remember, don't judge a book by its cover, because you'll never know what's inside. Good night, everyone.